talk about before you get out of here is that emotional availability aspect, right? Um, I don't think I really understood what emotional availability was, um, and how important it is to know if someone is emotionally available enough for what it is that you're trying to bring to the table.
Mm.
So, would you mind explaining like your thoughts on what emotional availability is and being able to recognize like who, how to know if someone is actually emotionally available for what it is that you're trying to bring?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way to tell if someone is emotionally available is by asking them, right? And that doesn't mean, oh, you literally ask them, oh, are you emotionally available right now? I mean, like you could, but I think it's more in the sense of, do you have the time to listen for for a second about, so and so or this and that. And sometimes when we're entering even new connections, having that sense of vulnerability is important to an extent, right? But sometimes oversharing can put a lot of pressure and expectations on
Mm,
someone before we even develop a sense of trust or understanding of them, especially when we don't know them for long enough. But um, when it comes to emotional availability, someone that's able to be forthright and transparent and honest about what they feel and what's going through their mind, that is what I would consider as someone that's emotionally available, and might even correlate with emotional maturity too, because sometimes emotional maturity is saying, I can't do that right now. And so perhaps someone that is emotionally mature isn't emotionally available. And it's important to recognize that as well. But it's just important to note that when it comes to emotionally available people that are in our lives and are there to support us, that we don't necessarily abuse it, but we appreciate it for what it is and offer them the same whenever we can.
right, right. So when you say abusing it, what do you mean?
So if we're trauma dumping or telling them, venting about our day in a way that takes up the entire conversation, or even putting some sort of like responsibility or duty on them without consent, or giving them the option or choice to say yes or no, is abusing that emotional availability. Knowing that someone will say yes because they love you, and then taking advantage of that, right? Because they have a soft spot for you, a weak spot, and then continuing to drain that person's energy. Okay, that would be abusing that. That would then make us a narcissist, and understanding the importance of uh, being a super empath and knowing when to set boundaries would be important for that person, right? So,
Mm,
um, regardless of however one would recognize themselves as in that situation, it's important to also note that everyone has a healthy sense of narcissism within them, and that it's a spectrum and it's not like black or white. And once we do that, we can have a healthy relationship, not just with ourselves, but with people around us, because then we know when and when we're not able to sabotage our own needs for someone else.